The teaching, which came from, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this right, but Ramana Maharshi. And I'll share that with you, one of the major teachings out of this. But again, coincidence is that I'm learning this new way of thinking about the ego. And then I go for a massage, and after the massage, my massage therapist says, you have to read this book. This book really brings your teachings to a deeper level. And then he proceeded to give me this book, which was the teaching that I never had a name for it or a teacher behind it. So what that helped me do was to be able to identify when I'm in the ego. Now, I loved how this was explained to me. We need that ego. You know, sometimes in the spiritual path, you kind of get the energy of, oh, I hate that ego. Ego bad, go away ego, right? And what this says is the ego, we need the ego. It's a necessary part of living. The ego lets us know how to get from point A to B, how to make plans, how to memorize our phone numbers, the logistical kind of stuff. But what happened a long time ago is that the ego got a little too, took on a lot more responsibility than it really needed to, right? And it thought that its job was to keep us happy. You know, its job was to keep us happy, which usually is keep on going in the future, keep on going in the future. Unfortunately, if we let the ego rule, if we let the ego drive, we'll never be happy. Because there's that hamster wheel. How many times have you said, once I get there, I'll be happy? Then once you get there, what happens? There becomes somewhere else. And so again, it's about being aware of when you're not present, not in spirit, you're in this ego. And I love that Valerie Crawford, Valerie, is that her name? A friend of yours who... Verlaine Crawford. She wrote, similar to this, about being on a ship and giving the various parts, the various disguises of ego, labeling them. Subpersonalities, she calls them. So one might be, in my instance, when I'm in the future with this, that's my protector. The role of the protector is to, or he thinks, to protect me from getting hurt in the long run. We have the protector, we have the hero, we have the victim. What else do we have happening in here sometimes?
The martyr.
The martyr. Anybody else have any that might be more personal to you?
Victim, savior,
The savior,
yeah.
Okay, the warrior. Right? These are all things that we have, and they're all parts of this ego. It really is an ego in disguise. And what's important to do is to be able to realize when that is in operation, when that part of us is driving the car. So we can then say, no, thank you, and be aware that the ego's job really was, I think its intention is very loving. I really do, and we have to thank it for trying to make us happy, but it's just not working. And almost like having a dialogue with that part of our ego that says, thank you for trying to be of service to me, but you know what, it's not working. The only way that I will ever be happy is to be in the present moment with spirit. Can we agree? Can we say back off perhaps? I want you to be in the car, but let me drive. Okay? So you're basically having a dialogue with this thing. And by the way, when you start having this awareness and this teaching, the ego might want to escalate. So the voices might get a little louder. They might come more frequently. Because what's happening is the ego is being demoted. And it's scared. You're taking away his job. Survival, exactly. And so what we're doing is we're trying to create a dialogue with it. Much like Gestalt therapy of sorts. It's having a dialogue with that part of our consciousness. And saying, thank you, be grateful, not go away. Which for me was, for many years I said, oh, I don't want to, no, ego bad, go away. And it was now about working with the parts of myself. And most importantly, being aware when it was present. And I think for a lot of us, we have the different parts of our ego. And some might be more present than others. For mine might be the protector and the warrior. For others, it might be the victim. Or the know-it-all. But what's important is to know, for you, what are maybe the two more prevalent ones. So you can be able to be more aware when you're present. And then another thing that you do if you're surrounded by people who love you and that you're comfortable and safe with is to say, listen, please help me when you feel like I'm going into that mode. When I'm going into the ego mode, when I'm going into the hero mode, when I'm going into the victim mode, please, in a loving way, help me come back to presence. And I, do that with someone that you really do feel safe with, and that you have the communication, you have the ability to do that with. So again, coming back to the present moment. This is what this teaching is all about. Again, about being aware. Why I love Eckhart Tolle's information in his books is because it's all about becoming aware. Awareness that this other thing, the thoughts are present. Because when you're aware, you can then come back to presence. You can't come back to presence if you're not aware. And again, we can use that body, our body temple, to identify when we are not in presence. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.